Hello, my name is Nancy Ringel, and I'm going to be sharing the findings from our study, Surgical Outcomes in Urogynecology, Assessment of Peri and Postoperative Complications Relative to Hemoglobin A1C, also known as the sugar study. We sought to identify a hemoglobin A1C threshold for increased risk of peri and postoperative complications after pelvic reconstructive surgery. We also sought to determine the mesh complication rates in a diabetic cohort. We conducted a multi-center retrospective cohort study across 10 sites and identified females greater than or equal to 18 years old who had diabetes and underwent prolapse and/or SUI surgery over a 5-year period. We conducted sensitivity and ROC analyses and identified thresholds of complications stratified by hemoglobin A1C. We also did multivariable logistic regression to adjust for potential confounders. We were able to identify 807 charts that had hemoglobin A1C values ranging from 4.7 to 12.4 before surgery, with a median of 6.7%. In this cohort, the rate of severe complications was 14.9%, and the rate of overall complications, which included UTI and urinary retention, was as high as 44.2%. Mesh complication rates were 4.6% of sacropulpopexies and 1.7% of slings, and the average hemoglobin A1C for mesh exposures was 7.5%. As you can see, the rate of complications increased with increasing values of preoperative hemoglobin A1C level, and our ROC analyses identified a threshold of 8. When we did multivariable logistic regression, we found that a hemoglobin A1C value greater than or equal to 8 increased the rate of severe complications, 27.1% versus 12.8%, and overall complications, 57.6% versus 41.8%, with an adjusted odds ratio ranging between 2 and 3. So in conclusion, preoperative hemoglobin A1C greater than or equal to 8 has a 2 to 3-fold increased risk of overall and severe complications. Mesh complications were consistent with published rates for sacropulpopexies and slightly higher in slings for this diabetic cohort. All of this information is useful for risk stratification during surgical planning. Thanks for your time.